Good morning, welcome back to Marty's Tying Bench. I'm putting together Vice Squad kits, and this session we're going to tie a Brooks Sprout, often in a midge configuration, but today we're going to tie it in Betis colors. This is a size 16 hook, a light wire scud hook. It's effective in everything down to 18s, 20s, as small as you've got good hackle for. I've got a neutral colored thread, 8/0. We're not going to be putting any really hard turns anywhere, so you don't want a heavy thread. Now for the trailing shuck, we're going to use some Antron. And this Antron is, off of a hank, and this is about a third or a fourth of it. You just need a few wisps out the back. Tie that in, and then either trim those butts or just pull them back so that they don't extend over the eye of the hook. And I want to come down the bend. This is a fly that's going to suspend in the water, so go ahead and get it down the bend a little ways. Now for an abdomen, we're going to use some peacock. Now this is just a scrap. I used the front end of this on something else and got the good quality peacock, but this butt end is still useful where it's actually a little tougher, it's more desirable. I'm just going to take my fingernail and scrape all that flue off of it. Get all the fuzz off my fingers. Let's go ahead and trim that so it doesn't get in the way. About the length of the body, maybe a little less. And then we're going to tie this peacock quill. And don't be too tight with your thread wraps here, that can nick the quill and make it break. Now, skinny is good. A little bit of taper you might like. I'm going to go ahead and flatten the thread a little bit and introduce something of a taper. If I was tying this on 18s or 20s, I definitely wouldn't need to do that. And now I'm just going to come forward with that peacock quill. Now, having used that tan thread, if I get a little gap and it shows through, it's just going to look like more of the segmentation. That's why I didn't use black thread. And just keep coming till you get past the halfway point. And that's just a pretty Betis abdomen. Now for a post, we're going to use one of these rainy round foam posts. You can cut a square piece, it'll work just fine, but it sure looks neat with the round. What I'm going to do is trim one end of it so that there's a little bit of a foot. So this way, without too much buildup, I can set that down and catch the foam so that it's not extending over the eye, but I've got a decent length of foam to tie it in so it'll be secure. Now I'm going to post this just a little bit and gently. I don't want to go tight or it'll cut through that foam and there goes your post. But just a little bit. I've got a saddle hackle. This one's got quite a bit of cup to it, so it won't be as neat as if you have a rooster hackle off of a neck. But this is going to float just fine, and these things are so effective. So it's going to secure that, tie it in, get a little bit of superfine, a gray. Now it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much at all. We're going to build just enough of a thorax to lift this parachute up and away from the hook. Now finish with your thread behind the post and let it hang. Now you got some stem there, so you can manipulate this feather so that your first turn it's cupped down. You don't have much space to work with, so I'm going to try and go underneath with each turn. And 3's about enough. Now I'm going to catch that on the post with the feather pointing down. Then I'm going to lift the feather up and get one under everything to lock it into place. Now this, I didn't trim this post yet because I can use it for a handle and kind of get it out of the way. And I want to tie my whip finish on the hook. I don't want to tie it on the post, not with a soft post like this foam. A little bit of head cement here, a wet whip would be even better. Okay, you take the post and get everything at right angles. Trim this post down here pretty close. Doesn't need to stand up much, you just want a button that you can see. And there you go, got a Brooks Sprout Baetis. Have fun with it.